everyone, how's it going today? Chelsea Face here, and I'm really excited to give you November's wrap up. It is the most I've ever read in a month. Let's get into this. Okay, first I want to say I'm kind of sick today. I don't know if I'm getting something or if I already have something. If I cough or do any like snorting with my mucus, I apologize. I'll try to edit it out, but it's inevitable. I don't feel great, but I wanted to get this done now so I don't have to worry about it later. I read a bunch of books this month. I think it might be the most I've ever read in a month in my life. It's 11. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but it is to someone like me who is definitely a mood reader, and I get distracted by other things like video games and karate and other things that I'm interested in. So I think I did really well. I'm very impressed with myself, and I cannot wait to tell you about these books. So the first thing that I read was Wilder Girls by Rory Power. This is a 2019 release. I describe this to people as a isolated dystopian about these girls who live on this like island. I think there's this plague kind of apocalyptic thing that happens there, and they start transforming and turning into these things, and they have to survive on their own because the government has quarantined the place, so they have to figure out how to live. They're getting very minimal supplies, and it's just like a rough and tough, full of amazing plot twists and stuff, and I just really love this. It was like a fantasy thriller in my opinion. I'm pretty sure this is just in the fantasy YA section, but I consider it kind of a thriller as well. Characters are fantastic, very relatable, very realistically flawed, and this is my favorite book of the year so far, not including like comics and manga. I just cannot recommend this enough to anyone. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It is so good. Please read this book. I want more in this world, even though she has not confirmed it. She's also not deconfirmed it, kind of, so I want more from this. The next book that I read this month is Slash by Hunter Shea. I want to thank Flame Tree Press once again for sending me one of their arcs. It was very kind of them, and I've read quite a few of their arcs and reviewed them here on my channel. If you're interested, I will link them below. Normally I really like everything I get from them, but I did not like this one. I gave it a 1 star. I felt like the first maybe 50 pages were pretty good, and I was interested, and I know it's supposed to be kind of like a B-movie in a book form, which is like my bread and butter. Like, I love B-movies. They're really fun to like binge and watch on a summer day when you have nothing else to do. And I just didn't like it. It's about this man whose wife or his girlfriend kills herself. So there's lots of trigger warnings in this one for sure. But she kills herself because she can't deal with the stress of what happened to her a long time ago. And there's a lot of things that I don't think make sense in this. There are a lot of things that are left untied and confusing to me. And I kind of had to force myself to read 90% of this book, 70% of this book, because it was just so boring, and the characters were joking around and having a good time when they should have been like fearing for their lives and traumatized. So I kind of feel like it was unrealistic in that sense, and it wasn't funny to me. I mean, I can see good things in this book, but overall I gave it a 1 star. I don't really recommend it, but you know, lots of people did like this. It has pretty good ratings on Goodreads, to be honest, and I don't understand why, but that just proves to you that everybody loves different things in books. That's one I read this month, and I gave it a 1 star. The next book I read was the 8th volume of the Viz Big edition Inuyasha by Rumiko Takahashi. This is the last volume that I physically own, so I need to start buying them again. I don't know how many of these Viz Bigs there are, but there's quite a few of them because there are so many volumes of Inuyasha, and it's gorgeous. I love the art in these. Rumiko Takahashi is one of my favorite mangakas, and I want to read more of their work. I have probably about half of Ranma Half on my bookshelf, but I want to get the rest of it and then start it over. It's a longer series. I'm not sure which one's longer, Inuyasha or Ranma Half, but it's one of the older works, and I really want to read that one, and there's so many others that I want to check out. If you haven't read anything by Rumiko Takahashi, I highly recommend Inuyasha. Some people will criticize it, but I've never had a problem with anything in it. 5 out of 5 for me. Every volume has been fantastic. The art is just getting better and better, and I feel like she's evolved so much as an artist throughout every volume. And the story is pretty simple. I mean, you have this story about a girl who falls through this rift in time, and she meets these characters like Inuyasha and all these other friends, and they have to get the shards of this jewel, and they defeat demons and monsters, and they meet people on the way and make friends and fall in love and all that stuff. So it's just a really fun fantasy series, and I highly recommend it. 5 out of 5. The next book I read this month was I Know What You Did Last Summer by Lois Duncan. I think it's Lois Duncan. It might be Louise Duncan. I don't know. I think she's passed away a while back. So this was really good. Like, I know this is not the cover that I really wanted, but I found it at a thrift store for like 50 cents or 25 cents. So I had to pick it up. It's real short, kind of like a Fear Street thickness. And I was like, well, I'll check it out. I like cheesy horror movies, and I love the movie back in the day. It's not flawless, but I like the movie. This is the movie cover, obviously. The book is nothing like the movie, in case you were curious. Like, it's nothing like the movie. I know I keep picking at my eye, and I'm sorry, but there's something in it. This was released in 1973. I did not realize it was that old. I think it holds up really well. I could not tell what time period it was in. I kind of saw it as more of a modern day, so that was pretty interesting to me. It feels a lot like a Fear Street book, but I think it's better written, honestly, and it makes me want to read more of her books. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm very, very interested in picking up more of her work. I think it's easy to sympathize and understand where the characters are coming from. It's similar to the movie, but it's not like the movie, if that makes sense. Like, there are characters that I did not know that weren't in the movie at all. There was a twist in here that got me. I mean, most people may have seen that coming, I don't know, but I had no idea it was coming, so it really got me, and I was like, holy crap, like, verbally out loud. My husband was like, what? It got me. Like, the twist in this got me, and that's saying something for a book that was written for teens, I think. So I really, really liked it, and I really want to read more of her stuff. I do wish that I knew more about the mother's powers, because of course that wasn't in the movie, and they very, very, very briefly touched on that at the end of this book, and I kind of wish that had been explored a little bit more. Overall, I gave this 4 stars because it's really good, and I think everyone should check this out, and I'm definitely going to pick up more by this author. The next book I read was manga, and it was My Girlfriend's a Geek, Volume 3 by Riz Shimba. I don't know how you say their name. Story by Pentabu. So I've told you guys about this series. This is the last volume that I own. I'm gonna try to continue it if I can find the other volumes at a cheap price somewhere used, because I don't love the series. I've given every volume 3 stars, and I'm pretty sure I gave this one 3. Yeah. It was released in 2008, and it's a story that was developed from an online forum between this guy and this girl, I think. The girlfriend is a geek, or actually a fujoshi, and that means that she like ships boys with boys a lot, and she makes like dirty references, and she's super nerdy and otaku, and I like that, but I feel like she uses the guy, and I don't like their relationship. It kind of just feels like they're not dating, they're just kind of, she's using him for entertainment or something, and he's kind of tortured, and I don't like that. I don't feel like that's two-sided kind of relationship. She teases him a lot, but there's no actual like romance or love going on, in my opinion, so I don't love this. I'm hoping it goes somewhere in the future volumes, and if it doesn't, I'm probably just gonna sell the series or trade it in or something, because it's just not grabbing me the way that I want it to. I love most manga that I read, so for me to not really like something is interesting to me, because I don't typically find things I don't like. But I gave this one 3 stars. I'm interested to see where it goes. The next book I read was Kiss Him Not Me Volume 1 by Junko. I have told you guys that I want to read this series. I finally have started it. I watched the anime in a vlog a while back, and you can go view that here. I'll put it in the cards. It's really good, okay? There is this toxic idea at the front of the series in the manga and the anime of a girl who loses a lot of weight, and all of a sudden she's very desirable and wanted, and even though it was a very unhealthy way to lose weight. And I don't like that. I would say that could be dangerous to some people who have been through things like eating disorders and other things like that. Be warned if you're gonna watch it or read it that is very important to the story. It happens more than once. Just be warned of that. When you get past that big flaw that's like possibly just a cultural thing, it's really good. It is the closest you can get to boy love without being boy love. The author, apparently that's what she's written in the past, and I really, really love this, and I want more and more and more and more and more, because there's like these like 4 or 5 guys who are fighting over this one girl, and it's like a reverse harem, and I really love it. It's so cute. 13 plus. There is a little bit of adult stuff in here, not much, and these are $10.99 a piece. It's by Kodansha, so I highly recommend it if you can handle the subject matter, because it's really fun to watch these guys compete to get her attention, and I really hope it goes somewhere, because the anime was super short. I think like 12, 13 episodes maybe, or maybe was it 26? Either way, it was really short, and the manga keeps going, I'm pretty sure. It has like 14 volumes or something. I really hope that she picks someone at the end, because the anime ends strangely, in my opinion. The manga goes further than the anime, I'm pretty sure, so just be prepared for she may or may not choose someone. I really hope she does, because that would make the plot so much thicker and better if she just made it all dark and picked somebody. But yeah, I read volumes 1 and volume 2, and I love it so far. It's so cute. The art style is fantastic, and the guys are so swoony and cute, and like, I don't, it has like stereotypes of guys, and I love all of them. Normally I would pick one guy and be like, that's the one, but in this series I'm having trouble deciding if I like which one I like the most. Like, look at these boys, they're cute. I like anime boys, fight me. But yeah, I gave both of these 5 stars, hands down. So the next ones I read were Shortcake Cake. I know that's a weird title. Volumes 1, 2, and 3. And I forgot these on a buy 2 get 1 free sale at Books A Million. I did a lot of these manga that way because I just had extra cash this month and I blew it because I am not responsible and I love manga. I'd heard about this from someone on YouTube. I cannot remember who it was, but it's so cute. It was released in 2016, so it is fairly new, and I know it's still ongoing if I'm not mistaken. And you know how like some shoujo or most shoujo, the characters will not speak to each other like a normal human being, and so a lot of drama is created from not talking to each other? Well, I kind of feel like this sort of breaks that mold. Of course, you're going to have a little bit that's not spoken between characters because you have to. This main character girl, 10 is her name, she will pretty much just straight up ask a guy, do you like me? And I kind of like that. I like that attitude of not playing around all the time and getting straight to the point. The boys are swoony. Like, this is the main girl, this is one of the guys, and this is the other guy, and they are just so fun to read about. And I love the design of the covers, and they're so cute, and the spines line up all pretty like that, and it's got the little strawberry in there, and it's all themed around cakes and stuff, and they're just really pretty volumes, and I can't wait to collect all of them because it's so fun. It's a really nice shoujo in my opinion. The volumes are only $9.99 a piece, American. It's not unreasonable for me to collect and read these. By Viz Media, rated T for teen. I gave 5 out of 5 stars to the first and the third volume, and then the second one I gave 4 stars. I think it was a little bridgy and it didn't really feel good as a book by itself as much as these two did. It was still fantastic, but I think the third one is my favorite so far. It had something happen in it that has me dying to read volume 4, and I cannot wait to pick that one up. It's already getting a little spicy. Highly recommend this series to anybody. Viz Media does fantastic work. Okay, the next book I read was I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, the complete manga collection. Guys, for real, if you want to cry, like I mean like boo-hoo, bawl your eyes out, like hurt yourself crying so hard, read this book. There's a light novel and then there's this manga, and it was so good. Like, I've heard some people say that it's just cheap to get you to cry. Like, it's one of those things that like just tries its hardest to make you cry. Whether or not that's true, I don't care. It was so good, so well written, and so I was consumed with the story. I almost read it all in one sitting. I did have to go to work, but I read it mostly in the tub when I was relaxing. And when I got to like a certain point, like maybe right here or right here in the book, I could not stop crying and screaming out loud because I was so upset by what was happening, and I was so pushed to that brink, you know? I don't know, man. Like, no manga has affected me in the way that this one has. And I think there's a movie too, and I'm kind of terrified, but also really want to watch it. It was released in 2018 by Yoro Sumino and Izumi Kirihara. I hope I said those slightly correct. I know I suck at names and words, so just forgive me, okay? I'm not trying to insult anybody. So I know the name sounds interesting, and I was really intrigued by that in the store, and it's I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, and apparently that's like a saying you would say to someone if you really like them and you don't want them to die. Like, a part of them would be inside of you, so they would live on if you ate part of their body. Like, there's tons of different things that could lead to that title. I've heard it's like different folklore and different beliefs. It was just really sad. It's about a girl who's dying and she's writing a diary about it, and then this boy that doesn't want human interaction, she decides she's gonna make him hang out with her. So it's really sweet, the friendship that forms there / possible relationship, and I don't want to spoil too much, but it's really sweet, really sad, really cute. I highly recommend this. 5 out of 5 stars easily. I will probably reread it every once in a while and have myself a good cry. It's so good, and I do eventually want to see the movie, but I know it's going to tear me apart. And the art's not as cute in the movie as this is. This is really cute art, and it was a pretty quick read to me. It's $20 by Seven Seas Entertainment, but I can't recommend it enough. It's for teens, supposedly. I really hope you guys check this one out. I haven't heard anyone talk about it, and I really wish more people would read this. Okay, so the next mangas I read, The next manga I read were Arisa volumes 1, 2, and 3. This is an older series. I think it was released in 2009. Not that old, but it's at least 10 years old. I'm not sure how many volumes there are of this. I think it's a shorter one, like maybe 7 or 8. I could be wrong though, I don't know. I bought these a long time ago. Like I think I was in high school or community college when I bought these, because that would be right about the year. And I think it won a bunch of awards. As far as me hearing anyone talk about it, I have not. I've never heard anyone speak of this manga. And it started off being published by Del Rey, and then it started being done by Kodansha. So once that happened, like the first volume was done by Del Rey, it's just paper and it's a little cheap. I don't really care for the material that the front cover is made out of. It's very easily damaged. But then the other ones feel typical, like that shiny, little bit thicker, harder to damage material. So that's good at least. It did get better. The covers are gorgeous. Look at these spines. Like I love that all of the covers have the two sisters on it. They're twins. It's about a girl who, her sister, they didn't live together and they meet up and one of them tries to kill herself and the other one tries to figure out what was happening in her life that made her want to do that. Be aware of the trigger warnings in this. There's a lot of dark stuff and like suicide attempts and stuff in this by several people. And it kind of seems pointless to me, honestly. I'm not sure if I like where this is going, but I do like that it is dark because I like horror and suspense, dark kind of stuff, but I'm not sure I like the particular story that this one's going with. It was done by the same person who did Kitchen Princess, if you like that series, but it's totally different from what I've read from that. I think that one's more of like a cutesy shoujo-y thing. This one's pretty dark, not gonna lie. Some of the motives of the characters seem super silly to me, so I can't really fall into it that hard. But I gave all of these 4 stars and I liked them, but I'm gonna continue reading it because I am interested in how it ends and I think the art's gorgeous and it will look great on my shelves, so I do want to collect this one to the end. And it's by Natsumi Ando, and these are $10.99 a piece by Kodansha, so they're not unreasonable. They're in the middle price range for manga, but I highly recommend it if you're interested in something by that author. The art style is gorgeous and it's fun. It's a fun ride. I know you guys saw my library pickup video, so I did read Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell and Faith Erin Hicks, author of Friends with Boys. This is a graphic novel about these two characters, Deja and Josiah. It's so cute. Like I bragged on this book for minutes in that video. I had to edit out a lot of it because I was just talking too much. It has like this cute little map in the front of the pumpkin patch and it's just so cute. It's like these two friends meet up every year during that time of year and they work at this pumpkin patch that has like a bunch of people working and coming to it and visiting it, and it's really fun. It's by First Second Comics. It's $25 full price American, brand new, so I rented it because I wasn't sure if it was worth it. It's a hardcover comic, so I knew I'd fly through it and I was like, do I really want this? Well, I definitely want to go find my own copy of it, whether it's new or used, because I did enjoy it and I will plan on reading it every fall. It's a very good seasonal read that gets me in the feels of fall and all that girly stuff. And there's lots of pumpkins and lots of fall food and it's just so pretty. And it's kind of got a like lovey story in there and a friendship story. It's pretty much just about this girl who's helping him confess his love to another person that works at the pumpkin patch. So they go on a big adventure and it's just really, really fun. And I highly, highly recommend this. The art is gorgeous. The cover is so pretty. When I saw this in our library, I freaked out and I was just really excited to check it out. But 5 out of 5 stars. Highly recommend it. Read this book. And the last thing I read this month was another library pickup. It is Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon by Neko Takuchi. I don't know how to say her name, I'm sorry. I suck at life. But it is for ages 13 and up. It's $10.99 per volume. I checked it out from my library. There's no like bio on the back of this, which is really strange for a manga. So I guess they just expect you to know what Sailor Moon is at this point. I like the art style. I think older art styles are very charming and gorgeous. The characters are fun, but I do think that there's a lot of plot convenience in the way that this is written. I don't know how she wrote this or how they wrote this, but I don't know, like it's very cute. It was released in 1991, so this is as old as I am. I love the old art style. It's very charming, very cute, very fun. I love the era of which this was created, but I do feel like this whole thing was just kind of written as she went. I don't feel like any of this was planned out except for maybe the characters themselves, like maybe their stories were planned out and everything in between was just kind of like, well, this would be convenient to happen here. Oh, that would be convenient and it would help me pull the story along. It felt that way to me. It's not very intelligently written. I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, I'm not saying anyone's dumb or anything, but it just doesn't have any depth to it, if that makes sense. And I will continue reading it because I think they have all the volumes at my library, if I'm not mistaken. And I would like to own it myself one day because it is such a classic and it led to so many wonderful magical girl anime shows and manga. So it is very important for people to know about this series, and it's very classic, and I'm behind the times, definitely. I did not grow up with this. I grew up with more shonen, but I do love shoujo, and I really, really like it so far, even though there are flaws in it. The translation's pretty good. I know that sometimes things get retranslated over and over again, but this one seems to be pretty good. Even so, I did find a few grammatical errors in this, so that's kind of strange, Kodansha. I don't know if that was intended to be left in, but I can't find it. I can't think of the page where it was, but it was just really bad grammar. Like, it didn't sound right, and they kind of repeated something, but whatever, it's not that big a deal. But it was very strange for me to see that in a manga that's been out for so long. I gave it 3 stars, but I do intend to continue reading it. I like it a lot. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I don't feel great, so I think I'm gonna go and play some video games and eat some good food that's left over from Thanksgiving. Hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. It's been a great month for me. Our jobs, my husband and I, our jobs have changed a little bit, and it's for the better, and I'm just very, very happy with how my life's going right now. Any day, anything could change, but all these things that have been piling up on our shoulders for months and years have just all of a sudden been taken off of us, and it's just so nice. Like, I know this is going to be real chatty at the end here, but I just wanted you guys to understand that, like, you know, when you're watching someone on YouTube, and I'm not super famous, obviously, but when you're watching someone on YouTube, you kind of get disconnected because you're watching through a screen and you don't know them in person, and they kind of feel like an alien, sort of. And I feel that too. I get that way about people I love on YouTube. I understand, but you got to understand that we're people. We have issues in our full lives, and we don't necessarily want sympathy or pity from anyone, but we do want people to understand where we're coming from. Empathy, I guess. I love making videos. It's really hard sometimes to get up and film a video when you feel like doo-doo. And I just wish more people would understand that about bigger YouTubers. Like, I don't have that problem. People are pretty understanding with my schedule. Like, I have a few channels that I do things on, and me and my husband are going to start a gaming Twitch channel. And I know that it's like way too late to do that, but we always game, and we're using our Christmas money to each other to get a gaming PC. So I'm very, very excited about that. It's going to be something that we've been working towards for years, and we finally have the funds to get it, and we've pretty much ordered everything we need for it. So I cannot wait to start that, and I'll be sure to let you guys know in the description. I'll put the link to our channel down there. We haven't changed anything. It used to be just his channel, so we're going to be updating all the graphics and all the information and give new overlays and stuff. So it'll all change within the next few months, but the name's been changed, and yeah, we're just really, really excited to move on with this new chapter, and I'm just really excited. We'll have new editing capabilities. We've already got the programs we need paid for. We just have to get the computer and download it. But yeah, I'm just really pumped and thankful for what we have right now. And I hope you guys who did celebrate Thanksgiving had a good Thanksgiving. And if you didn't, I hope you're having a good day. Thanks for watching. I'm sorry I rambled too much. I'm just thanking and very grateful for what I have. I hope you guys will like this video if you did enjoy the content, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and want to see more from me like this. I'm also going to be filming a TBR today. Keep an eye out for that one. It should be coming out soon after this one, if not the same day. We'll see. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.